Maybe in looking at Hedy, you have already seen or tried even this Explore button. If you haven't, let me show you what the Explore button does. The Explore button looks in all Hedy programs that people have created and have shared online and gives you the ability to browse through public programs. So if you go here, you see the first selection of programs is just everything. All levels and all languages and all adventures mixed together. And the top here is Hedy's Choice. So here we highlight a few programs that we as a Hedy team think are really cool. So you can try them out. For example, this one, you see it's a fortune teller at level 6. If I view it, I get this view. So I don't get the entire view of Hedy, just the view of this program. And I can simply run it here. And then you see this is a story, some sort of prediction model that it will tell me how old I will become based on certain dietary habits that I might have. So this is just a program we really like. It showcases what's possible in level 6 because it has some calculations. So how many simple carbs? 2,000. And how many liters of water? Well, maybe 1. I am now 38, and then the program predicts that I'm going to die at the age of 67,000 and a bit more. Okay, this is hopeful. So the Explore for you as a teacher, let me go back to the Explore view, is a really nice way to show to your students, look, this is what people are creating with Hedy. Maybe this is something that can motivate you as well. What you can do if you want to, and can be very handy, is select based on language and level. So for example, this week, this is actually true. This week I was teaching level 5 in my class and I was teaching in Dutch. So if I search now, I will only get programs for level 5 and I will only get programs that have been created by students in Dutch. It isn't necessarily true that everything that they type will be Dutch, right? They're still, even if their Hedy account is set to Dutch, they're free to type English strings, but in general, this will be Dutch. What I often do if I teach is that suppose we have done level 5 for a while, I take a level 5 program and I present it to my students and I ask them, hey, can we predict what is happening here? This one, for example. So I just take this one and I ask students, hey, line 1, what does this do? And line 2, can you explain to me what this does? And then step by step together, you can read a program, and this is really a nice way to deepen the understanding of students. What is also interesting to see is if we scroll down, we see that some of the programs have a red marker. That means those are programs that have been saved and shared, but they contain an error. So it's nice for your students if they're exploring that these aren't programs that they might want to look at. But again, if you're teaching, it can be very useful. Let's take an erroneous program. So I take this one and I tell my students, okay, let's run it. And now what will happen? Oh, there's a mistake. Let's examine the mistake together. So here we cannot use at random with pretparken because it's an input from ask. So we can scroll down a little bit. Here we see the problem. Pretparken is an ask. So I cannot do an at random. I cannot select from one element. So even those erroneous programs can be really, really useful in teaching because you can show them to students, ask them to find the error themselves, or ask them to read the error message and to figure out what's wrong. And that way they can practice figuring out error messages independently, unrelated to their own programs, because sometimes you get a little bit frustrated if your own programs are failing. But if you present a failing program from someone else, then you have a little bit more calm sometimes as a student to figure out the exact issue.